Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the PPP loan and why you should seriously look at it as an alternative to the EIDL immediately. Okay, and before we do that, please like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, the PPP loan was originally designed strictly for payroll protection, to get your old employees back and bring them back in. We've all heard the stories. There's been more loans written in 14 days than there were in 14 years for the entire SBA. Fantastic. Now, what's happened is that the senators involved in this program on the banking side of everything have looked at making some serious changes to the PPP, and it's made it very attractive right now, and you should seriously look at it. Okay? After a rush of the original program, there was another $310 billion worth of funding. And since they've issued this new funding, there's $120 billion that has been left over. The program ran out of funds, and that's all we heard. They gave loans to people that were non-deserving, and now there's a ton of money left over. As of May 30th, there has been 4.4 million loans written, and it's been for a total of just over $510 billion. Now, what that does is it leaves the average loan amount right now at $114,000. We've all heard the stories of the abuse. I'm not even going to get into that right now. A House bill called the PPP Loan Forgiveness Act eases the rules around small business and how they can use the funding. Okay? Now, the payroll protection program was set up so that the PPP funds would be used for 75% for payroll, and that's been eased right now. There are businesses that have not opened yet, and they've gotten funds. So what they've done is they've eased the requirements for some of these businesses so that they can start planning and not be, have a fire under there, so that they have to work on this immediately. The plan passed 417 to 1. What it would do is it would reduce the share of money that was needed for payroll. First things first, it would make it go from 75% down to 60% for the payroll, which is huge. That's a big, big difference because you should be paying employees and bringing them back during this time. And it also extends the window of time that you have to hire these people back. Originally, you had 8 weeks to bring these people back, and now you've got a much, much, much longer time. You've got 6 months to do that. It also pushes back the June 30th date to have all these people rehired, so you don't have to worry about that. It just goes on. And the other thing about this is that if you do offer one of your old employees a job, this doesn't count for you, but you have to report them to unemployment. So if they don't come back to work for you, they're going to get penalized and lose their unemployment immediately. So it's kind of a tattle situation, but that's what it's going to do. It's going to extend the time to repay the loan. They've talked about it originally being 24 months. If your loan was not forgiven, you were given a 1% rate for a 2-year period. Okay? Now, they've extended that to a 60-month period. Now, guys, please do the math on this. Most people that are looking for EIDL money needed 25 grand, 50 grand. Some people needed more, and I know that. Okay? But if you can get a PPP loan, and let's say it's not forgiven and you use it for the business, get a 1% loan for 60 months. You can't get a car loan for that right now. Okay? So this is huge, and this is something you should seriously look at because I don't think there's cheaper money out there. The SBA is completely incompetent. We all know that. If you call them, they're going to give you the same shenanigans and the same answers. What they should have done is sent these loans out to be dealt with the banks and everything else with the EIDL, and it would have been handled much better. They have also eased the term in that you have to use the money. Okay? Originally, it was set at 8 weeks, which was a real problem. Okay? Now, desperate people were saying, oh yeah, no problem, I can spend the money in 8 weeks. You can't. Okay? They've lessened this to where you'd have 24 weeks to spend the money hiring people and bringing employees back. Plus, the key to this whole thing is it gives 40% of the money can be used for non-payroll related business items, advertising, marketing, rent, different costs you need. If you need computers, if you need supplies, whatever, okay? That's a huge, huge difference with this Flexibility Act. It's a bipartisan bill. It's got both sides involved in it, and it's moved forward through the House, and they already have senatorial approval on this, so this is going to take shape. Now, there's a few other features about this that are huge, and the most important one is this. Now, during this entire process, we've all felt that this has been unjust and unfair, and 99% of you feel like you've been mistreated as a result of the EIDL program. And those of you that did apply for the PPP program originally and were told it was closed, just that it was unjust and unfair during this time. Well, you're absolutely right, okay? Now, here is the big part, okay, that you have to pay attention to, and that is the Consumers Banking Association has recommended to both Congress and to the senators, the CBA, they're calling that every loan that is written for under $150,000, which is 99.9% of you out there don't need $150,000 for your business. They're recommending that all of these loans be forgiven, okay? So here's their thinking of this, okay? They're saying that this move will save over $7 billion in paperwork and time for the agencies alone. And you know how incompetent the SBA is and how backed up they are and everything like that. So as far as all this time, this effort and paperwork completely wiped out. Now, this $150,000 threshold that they're talking about, that accounts for 85% of all the loans written, okay? But when you add it all up, it's only 26% of all the PPP money. So all the big players, they're going to be responsible. They're going to have to pay it back. They're going to have to do all the accounting. So look at this. This is huge. How this is not on every newscast. Oh, gee, I know why, okay? Go out and look at these lenders right now, okay? Now, I've reached out to a lot of different people, called people, asked questions of different lenders. Most people have had 95% of the people that have gotten the loans that I've talked to have gotten them through alternative sources, okay? Do not go to a conventional bank. Do a search. Now, I made a list for you, and I get no credit or I'm recommending any of these people. Do your own due diligence, but here's what I came up with. Funding Circle that I spoke to, they brag that, listen, if you've got only $4,000 a month in payroll, which is yourself even, okay, that you can get a PPP loan, okay? They have an 8-minute application that they brag about, okay? Fill it out. It's all online. You don't even speak to somebody. It's self-certifying and will give you an answer. Lendio, another one that has this fast application online. Cabbage with a K. Cabbage has always been a small business lender, but they've set themselves up for PPP money and still have a significant amount of PPP money. Clearinghouse CDFI was one that people have had success with, and try them. Search the name. Okay, WebBank. WebBank is the lender for PayPal. If you've ever gotten a PayPal advance on your credit cards, it's done through WebBank. WebBank is doing PPP loans. Now, again, what I also suggest is that you search for fintech companies. You search for alternatives out there that you could get. There are insurance companies lending PPP money. There's all these alternative lenders, but get somebody that will do it quick. If you have a question, call them before you fill out the application, okay? Demand that they give you an answer right away. Demand that you know the funding date as well. But think about this, guys. For the amount of money, some of you morons have car payments that are, you borrowed $50,000, $60,000 for a car, and your payment's higher than what this is going to be to save your business, okay? So we can talk finance and how to run your life later. I appreciate every single one of you. Good luck to everybody. Please look at the other videos to get more advice. I'll keep you updated, but seriously look at this PPP loan. I'm going to look at it. These new changes are a game changer. Please like this video, share it, subscribe, tell all your friends and colleagues. Good luck to everybody, and I will see you soon.